Hello vinyl community, and welcome back to Mike's Vinyl Experience. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Today I want to talk with you about this month's 3 releases from Analogue Production as part of the Atlantic 75 catalog that they are remastering and redoing. The 2 that I want to talk about today is Hootie the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View. This is a great album. Excited to go over this one with you. And Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You. I want to talk about each of these with you. Also, just as an FYI, we will be doing a review on this album here, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and we'll be doing a comparison with this album compared to my classic records version of the album, which I think is absolutely stellar. So I'm excited to see how this new Analogue Production is going to compare to that. That will be a lot of fun. So we're going to be doing that right away as well. But today I want to focus on Hootie the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View, and Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You. So let's go ahead and talk about Hootie the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View first. This album was released originally in 1994. Let's take it out of the wrapper there and take a look at the album. Once again, here we are, Analogue Productions, in their remastering and redoing of these incredible Atlantic albums are just doing a phenomenal job. If you can look and see the cover on that, and let me kind of open up the gatefold and you can see that. Let me try to focus that so you don't see the glare. They're just doing a phenomenal job with these covers, not to mention the vinyl records themselves. And I show these to you and I don't really know if it really makes any sense to you, but this is side C of the album, and if you can see, it's just glossy, 180 gram, 45 RPM. They have been remastered. Both of these albums actually we're talking about today were remastered by Ryan K. Smith with Sterling Sound. They really sound really well. This one is number 000673 on the back of the album cover. And really, the songs on here that I personally really like are Not Even the Trees, Only Want to Be With You, I'm Going Home, Hannah Jane, and of course, I know Hold My Hand received a lot of, I don't know if you can read that or not, received a lot of playing time. Well, there was a lot of them that actually did. I Only Want to Be With You was a good hit. Let Her Cry, as well as Hold My Hand. Goodbye, that's just a great song here on this album. As far as the recording goes, the only thing that I have to compare it to, like a lot of the albums that were released in the late 80s and early 90s, I only have a compact disc. And so I don't have an original vinyl pressing of this to compare it to. And you know, in the compact disc, I'm not trying to say it's bad. It's not. It sounds actually pretty good, but it's nowhere near as good as this. Ryan K. Smith did a great job with remastering it. It sounds very nice. Actually, these 2 albums, Hootie the Blowfish and Matchbox 20, I had slated on my list of the Atlantic 75 that Analogue Productions is doing. I had them listed that I was going to purchase on SACD. And as many of you are well aware, it's taking Analogue Productions a few minutes longer, or a little while longer, I should say, to get the SACDs out. And so I really like both these albums. I think they're great albums. I think they really represent you know, and Hootie the Blowfish, and I really should say this about them, they're folk rock, I guess is what you would call it. To me, it's got more of a and I guess it's probably where the folk comes in, it's got a more of a country twang to it, which is kind of why I guess the lead singer Darius Rucker went over to country music, and I don't know for sure when that was, sometime in 2000, maybe the mid 2000s, late 2000s, something like that. But this has really kind of got a little bit of a country twist to it, if you will. Folk rock is probably what it's really categorized as, probably. But this is a great sounding album, and it's a great album by Hootie and the Blowfish. Like I say, I had this slated for SACD because I was thinking, you know, they're great albums, they're good albums. The reason I was thinking of getting them on SACD, obviously, is because, well, they're good albums. They're probably not my favorite groups, but they're really good, and I enjoy their music a whole bunch. And I had them, like I say, I was going to pick them up on SACD, but because of the timeliness of the SACDs, and really, these two albums, I think, are really good. And I'm actually glad that I got the analog, the vinyl versions of them, because they really do sound good. Absolutely, definitely better than the compact disc that I have. You know, Hootie and the Blowfish, cracked rear view, definitely recommended if you're into Hootie and the Blowfish. And as always, if you're not familiar with them, hop on Spotify, hop on Apple Music, wherever it is that you listen to music, vet them out, see if you like it before you spend your $60. But really, for your $60, you're getting very good quality. I wish they weren't that much, but you're getting really good quality. As indicated, the covers, the gatefold covers, are just perfectly well done, in my opinion. The vinyl's excellent, good, nice, quiet, excellent sounding albums. These albums, both of them, honestly, they're not super audiophile albums, meaning that you could use them for demonstration purposes. They're just not that. But I do believe that they do represent the group and their music better than probably anything out there. They sound really, really nice, at least to me, on my system and in my opinion. Hootie and the Blowfish, cracked rear view, highly recommended album. Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You. What a great album. This is also Matchbox 20's first studio album that they released in 1996. Rob Thomas, frontman, great vocals, great voice. Incidentally, just while I'm thinking about this, let me pull this out of the cover real quick. The cover art here, apparently this picture of this gentleman here, apparently the band got sued because I guess someone took a picture of this guy and they used it for the cover of their album, apparently not with his permission, whoever he is, on their album cover. And apparently they got sued. I don't know whatever happened to it. I never did hear the whole story, but anyway, kind of interesting. Matchbox 20 is indicated. This is their debut album, and it was a great debut album. And they had a couple of other albums that I thought were good. Not nearly as good as this, in my opinion. I'm glad Atlantic 75 and Analogue Productions decided to do this album. I think it's actually their best album. But once again, let's take a look at the cover. As you can see, nice glossy album cover. It's a gatefold. I'll try to get this so that it doesn't have any glare, so that you can actually see it. Sorry about that glare. But once again, Analogue Productions is doing a phenomenal job with these covers. They're printed extremely excellent. This album happens to be 000582. What an incredible job that they're doing with the cover. Equally as well with the albums that they're doing. 180 gram is indicated before. 180 gram vinyl, pressed at RTI, mastered by Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound. Doing a great job. The albums are actually as indicated. Really quite quiet, very nice sounding. The sound quality on the album is excellent, as indicated before with Hootie and the Blowfish. The only thing I have to compare it to, like most of the purchases that I made back in the late 80s and 90s, were compact discs. And I didn't buy a whole lot of vinyl records other than represses. You know, there was a lot of the classic records that was going on at that time. Of course, Mobile Fidelity was still doing things. Analogue Productions obviously was doing a lot of things, and there was, you know, many others at that time that I would be purchase. You know, that I would purchase. I purchased a lot of the CBS Master Sound albums as well, but anyway, this is just a great album. Of course, Push, the first song on side 2, is probably the most popular song on here. I remember I loved that song. Every time that would come on the radio, I would crank that thing up. Thought it was but the entire album actually by Matchbox 20 is really good. Rob Thomas has indicated, the front man. I think he's got a neat voice, really good voice. Argue, Busted. Listen to Busted. That's a great song. Of course, Shame's good. 3 a.m. Good song, really good song. Real Long Day. That saw an awful lot of playing time as well, and it's a great song by these guys. I really like that a lot. If you're not familiar with Matchbox 20 as indicated, check them out on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever it is that you listen to your music. It's actually a really fun album to listen to. I really like the music a lot. This is probably more alternative rock than Matchbox, than Hootie and the Blowfish. This is more of, I guess it would probably be alternative rock. I like this music. I really like Matchbox 20 and this alternative type of rock music. I really like this. This is a good album. As indicated, I had this slated for SACD, but due to the length of time that it's taking them to get SACDs out, I thought I'm going to go ahead and get the vinyl because it is an album that I really like and I do listen to quite a bit. In fact, this is something I like to listen to when I travel. I don't know why, but I really have this as part of my travel mix, if you will. But really good album. Matchbox 20, Yourself or Something Like You. Once again, I think you're getting a pretty good value for your $60. I know it's a lot. I wish it was less. But when you consider the covers and the vinyl being pressed, like I say, Ryan K. Smith doing the mastering, they do a great job. They are 45 RPM dual albums, which I've heard some complaints about, just for the plain and simple fact you're turning these things over every 10 to 15 minutes at the very most. They don't each side doesn't last very long, but really nice sounding albums for sure. Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You, excellent pressing. They did a great job with this album. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for tuning in today. As indicated, we'll be comparing this wonderful new album from Atlantic 75 and Analogue Productions to a classic records version that I've had for quite some time. I didn't purchase the Mobile Fidelity One Step because I was so happy with the sound quality of the classic records version of this album. I didn't find it necessary that I wanted to spend $125 on that. So I did buy this one because the reason that I bought it is just because everything that they've done prior to this release coming out as part of the Atlantic 75 remastering work that Analogue Productions is doing. One of the main reasons is just because of the covers as well. They're just done so very well. And I am absolutely high hope for this album sounding very nice, which I'm sure that it's going to. It will be neat to see how it compares to the classic records version, if it's any better, if it's similar. I hope it's better. because keep in mind the Classic Records version is 33 RPM, but I'll be comparing that. I also have an audio fidelity version of this album. I can't remember if it's an SACD or a CD, but I'll be comparing that, throwing that into the mix as well. Gosh, I've even got a digital high resolution audio file of this album as well. So we'll be taking a look at all of that, but that's coming right down right away, which will be probably the next video that we do. And then this album here that just came out from Mobile Fidelity on their Super Vinyl, Bob Dylan, Good As I've Been to You. Excited to listen to this album. I haven't even had a chance to open it yet, but I'm excited to listen to this album. We'll be talking about that as well in an upcoming video. So anyway, we got a lot coming down. I appreciate you all so very, very much. As always, please leave comments in the comment section below. If you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. That way you're aware when new videos come up. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Have a great day.